MJF has returned to AEW and answered some of the most burning questions that fans have had over the last couple of months. Was he sticking around with All Elite Wrestling? Is he re-signed? And more importantly, what is the future of the MJF character going to be? And during his promo at Double or Nothing this past weekend, he answered all of that and then some, and made it very clear to all of us marks exactly what is in store for Maxwell Jacob Friedman for the rest of 2024. He started by addressing the elephant in the room, that being Adam Cole, and it was speculated that Adam Cole was supposed to be a major opponent for MJF. Obviously, the injuries to both Cole and Max kind of changed the plans that they had in store for both of those characters, and with Adam Cole still not being cleared to compete, it's likely that we're going to have to wait a while to see these two in the ring again. And what happened at Double or Nothing was a bit of a way to move on from that for now, at least. He also talked about his past year. He talked about 2023 being a year that MJF basically wanted to forget. And there was a lot of criticism from professional wrestling fans about the MJF character, especially in the last 6 months of AEW 2023. Gone was the character who didn't care about anyone, who didn't care about the fans, and who was driven solely by the desire to be hated and prove that he is the best. Instead, we got someone who was pretty happy-go-lucky by the end of things, who was all about friendship, all about love, all about the adulation of the AEW fans. And he seemed to have gotten away from what made MJF MJF. And while a lot of the stuff was still enjoyable, many fans did criticize the choice to have MJF become this uber babyface who wasn't exactly everyone's cup of tea. Now, as we kind of move on in 2024, MJF made it clear that he's back to being all about hate. He's back to being driven by a desire to prove that he is the best. He doesn't need a New Japan or a Vince McMahon to make MJF, as he said. MJF made MJF. And the other thing that he revealed that many fans were talking about was the status of his AEW contract. It was reported for a while that MJF may have signed an extension back in 2022. He all but confirmed that on AEW Double or Nothing when he channeled his inner Iron Sheik and told that cameraman to zoom into a tattoo that revealed to say, "Bet on yourself," with the AEW logo on a poker chip that is permanently imprinted on his leg, and there is no denying it. MJF is in AEW. He even, at the end of the promo, did a little nod to the Wolf of Wall Street by calling himself the Wolf of AEW because, quote, "I'm not fucking leaving." It is clear that we are getting a driven MJF. It is clear that we are getting an MJF that is closer to the one we saw in the early part of 2023, in the latter part of 2022, and one that is more driven than ever to put this entire company on his back. And this is something that AEW really needed. Ratings have been down significantly, as has been attendance, and this company, while they are still in a very good place to get a massive rights increase and a new TV deal, they are not as hot or as cool as they once were. And part of getting back to that point is making sure that you have your biggest stars on the biggest stage in as big as feuds as possible. And one of those stars that they have been missing for the last number of months has been MJF. Regardless of how people feel about his feuds or his storyline in the latter part of 2023, the fact of the matter is, if they didn't have MJF during that time, things could have been a lot more bleak for the company. But they have him back, and now it's the question of what do you do with him? And with the Owen Hart Cup just around the corner, you could make an argument that the best thing for MJF at this point is to get him in that tournament, make him work his way back by hook or by crook to the final, win, and then earn that main event championship spot against whomever the AEW World Champion may be, whether it's Swerve, whether it's Ospreay at that point, doesn't matter. The main event should be MJF versus whoever the champion is for All In at Wembley Stadium, because you want to tell that story of this coming full circle. That's how you do it. You bring MJF back to one of the most glorious moments of his career, but also a moment that seems to be a turning point in their fandom and their views of the MJF character. So there's a lot they could do here. While it's TBD whether or not that's going to happen, what we do know for sure is that he's back looking better than ever, and he is the Wolf of AEW.